Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. Today we are here once again with Eden, once again with Syn Shenron. Actually, very familiar because I think it was the first weekend of set 10 that dropped that you also topped the same VA case tournament with Syn Shenron. That's right, Eden?
Yeah, and to be fact, these are the exact same sleeves as last time too.
Wow, that's actually pretty funny. So you're playing Syn again. I remember back then you said Syn was the best deck. So do you still believe that to be true even in set 11 format?
So I wouldn't call it the best deck. I would think it's depends on the pilot, but like when I think I'm playing it, every matchup is at least 50-50, and then you can easily outplay your opponent. So you can win most of your matches. Like at this weekend, I played the mirror match round 1, and then I drew against Vejex, drew against SS3 Mono Blue, and then I played, I can't remember what the other deck was, a blue deck, and then I played Go Tanks, and I beat all of them.
Yeah, it seems like Syn actually is one of those decks that has a pretty good Go Tanks matchup, but we'll talk about that as we get through the deck profile. But anyways, I do like the kind of deck you're describing where it has like a 50-50 matchup against everything. I like decks like that as well that can kind of just play against everything. That does feel pretty good. So getting into the main deck here, a lot of the same stuff we've seen: 4 Meki, 4 Zamasu, and only 3 Vegeta. So I like this card at 4 because I feel like you can never go wrong with having enough blockers, and plus like the Crusher Ball is very relevant. But was 3 okay?
Yeah, I actually think I only used it twice throughout the whole tournament. I usually charge it, and especially like against the more aggro decks, it's really hard to get Meki down.
Right.
Like you get it down for one turn, and then it just dies basically, which you're kind of okay with because it lets you awaken. So
yeah, that makes sense. I guess your unison is
I also
pretty
have a bunch
late.
of the one of Shadow Dragon.
Yeah.
So they had to make room for those.
And then I wanted to ask, just with the new set 11 super combos that came out, basically all the bottom deck 1 draw 2s, were those ever in the running, or was it always just Zamasu? I mean, I think Zamasu is probably still the best super combo that blue and yellow decks can play, but was that ever in the running or not?
Yeah, I never had a problem drawing cards since everybody's trying to pop your 9-drop and you're drawing cards every time they do that, and you just go back up the chain. So, and you're just trying to survive till turn 6. So Zamasu being able to stop attack or 2, especially like against Gotenks, you can tap down their dual attacker. They attack with something else first. Let you live extra turns, so you don't have to waste combo.
For sure, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I do think Zamasu is the best one in this, but just wanted to see if you tried it out, because it makes sense to play Zamasu for sure though. Next up, okay, we have our 4 negative energy Dragon Balls, the 1-star and the 2-star. This is pretty much unchanged from set 10. But then we also have 4 copies of Ice Shenron, the Cryomancer. And to me, this card really brings the deck up a few leagues. Like, this is just the ultimate consistency piece. Discarding it, grabbing any of your negative energy Dragon Balls. My one question about this card is, I mean, you could talk about how it performed for you. I'm sure it was amazing. But like, in the later parts of the game where this plays a negative energy Dragon Ball, but it plays it with its skills negated, was that ever like kind of problematic? Because later in the game you might want to bring out the 1-star ball, go into a Syn, stuff like that. So was that ever a problem?
Not really. When I used it, it was like on turn 4 when I would awaken and I didn't have another ball out or anything. I would use it just to get a ball out for turn 5. And just like when I had one extra man open and I didn't need to hold up a negate or anything, that's when I would use it. Except for turn 1. Like when you open your hand and you see like an ice and a 1-star ball, I always ship the 1-star ball back because ice, you want it in the drop so you can reanimate it turn 6.
Right, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like, you'd rather keep the ice rather than the 1-star ball for sure. Was the counterplay ever relevant? Because this thing actually hits unisons. So was that ever relevant?
I actually never used it as a counterplay.
Gotcha.
But I did hold it up one time and they didn't play anything, just passed, and I was like, okay. Then I just charged it and then reanimated everything.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes the threat of having the card is plenty, right? That's all you need sometimes. Yeah. All right, so now for the Syn lineup, this is again pretty much unchanged. This is still the main engine of the deck, right? And I think as we get more Syn Shenron support, like, we'll see some different main engines. I think the stuff we got in set 11 doesn't really compare to this stuff in terms of like a main engine, like the Naturon Shenron stuff and the Ice Shenron, really just like consistency. But I don't know, this just seems like what the deck wants to do. But
Kirk, I don't think they can make a better engine for Syn Shenron. Like turn 2 9-drop 30k Revenge Blocker, that's also a skill. Like there's if they make something better in set 12 for this deck will just absolutely be busted.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. And one thing we'll notice in this list is you're playing a lot of one of dragons, and it makes a lot of sense. And last time you were also playing the one of Harbinger of Ruin. But now the thing with the leader is like there's only a limit of 7 different dragons that you can reanimate, right? So were some of the one ofs, I guess we'll talk about the other one ofs when we get to them, but like Harbinger of Ruin, for example, is this card still good in the deck even though you have a lot of names now?
No, it's good. You play it because once you get to turn 6, you reanimate turn 6, and then when it comes to turn 7, like against like baby or something, you can lock your opponent out from ever attacking with their leader ever again.
And that's where this guy's activate main, right? Choose one of your cards in rest mode.
Yeah. You just swing with a dude, like swing with your 4-drop. You pop it off with Harbinger of Ruin, and then you reanimate it, and because your opponent's leader gets tapped, and then you choose your opponent's leader to not be able to attack.
Gotcha. So from there on out, against like the slower control decks, they basically can never attack their leader ever again. That definitely seems like a solid combo for sure. So moving on, we have 4 Zarbon, the Emperor's Attendant. I remember you talking about this last time. I want you to just recap a little bit, just for anyone who may not have seen the deck profile last time. I believe you said something along the lines of this is the card that separates a good Syn player from like a great Syn player, right? So talk about that a little bit.
So it's like when people try to attack you, they don't like, well, now they'll expect it, but like at first it's you gotta know when is Zarbon. So like when I was playing against Jordan in the MAC All-Star tournament, I actually had to waste Zarbon combo, and if I didn't have to waste that one, I would have won the match because I would have had another blocker for his last attack. It's all about timing with the Zarbon when you need to use it, because a lot of people they'll attack with something and then they'll block and they'll Zarbon, but you don't always have to do that. You can let them attack it, and they're not gonna combo most likely. And then when they try to attack your leader or something, you can out-combo with a Zarbon to untap your blocker. That way you out-combo that attack with the Zarbon, and then you get another blocker.
It's so funny how like the set 1 card is one of the MVPs in this deck, but that just goes to show.
Card's great.
it's like the Sensu Bean of this deck. It's kind of funny. But anyways, so for the Haze lineup, I actually really like this ratio, because when I've been playing Syn, the 3-drop Haze can kind of just clunk your hand up, and I like 3 a lot because you just pull it from the deck with the 1-star ball. So I think that was a pretty cool thing there. And again, this is like another, I guess, like the secondary engine to the Syn engine, but still Haze has a great effect. The 4-drop we're talking about, and just the free crit double strike pressure. It's got to be really good, huh?
Yeah, it's your aggro engine. So against like some aggro decks, you don't want to establish a 9-drop. So you want to be able to be super aggressive, and this chain does it. The 4-drop Haze is also insane because you are able to, whenever, like in the Gotenks matchup, it happened multiple times that they would play the fusion for 2 mana, pop my 9-drop, I negate its skills, they swing with it, and then I pop it with my Haze Dragon, and they don't get the effect because the skills are negated. Yeah,
that's really good. Negating the skills and then being able to pop it, that's one of the very few ways to get around that Gotenks for sure. So that seems really good.
And Haze is also an out to like every bomb.
Yeah, especially Celzino, which I think is really good. The fact that you have it out to Celzino without like having to negate it, that's really good. And then the Super Naturon Shenron. So were these ever anything more than just extra names?
Yes. So the 3-drop, the TP promo, is a Crusher Ball, which is pretty good, double striker. I never used it to them. I never evolved any of them. But the 4-drop, you play it so you can never deck out. So if you play against like Baby or something, I think their like bombs are like Obuni and like playing random cards and stuff. But you can literally deck them out because you won't deck out with the 4-drop.
Right, and then you're not playing a lot of the other Shenrons, so it makes sense. But like, were the other 1-star balls ever considered?
Not at all. The other cards aren't worth it. They're not good enough to bring out.
Right, makes sense. And then the 3 Nimbus, of course, you're playing Syn. This just makes a lot of sense. And then Fu Shroud and Celzino, the 2 secret rares, they worked well, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, like against the blue decks, you drop a Fu. Like this happened. I think it was against Daryl when I played against them. I turned 6, I reanimate all my dudes, and then like turn 7, I Fu'd and Celzino killed them.
In the same turn?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's pretty broken. That's definitely pretty broken. All right, Eden, so just to wrap up the deck, why don't you walk us through the side deck? I don't have an image for it here, but Eden's going to list it off for us.
All right, I played 2 Haru Haru, 2 Max Power Kamehameha, 2 Release from Evil, the 3 of the Megatabra, the black one,
Mhm.
2 Vegeta Final Flash, 1 Fu Shrouded, 1 Nimbus, 1 Mirror Assault from the Skies, and 1 Double Strike Champa. So realistically, I only sided for out of the cards. I only sided Haru, Max Power. That was against the mirror match. I played round 1. Sided Release from Evil against Mono Blue SS3 because he played Goku Oob, so you're able to stop it from taking your second life. And then I sided in the Fu Shrouded and the Nimbus. Were the only cards I sided. Every other card literally could have been nothing or any other cards. I kind of just played my side deck from last time and then added a few different.
Right. I noticed last time you actually main decked the Vegeta Final Flash, but this time it was bumped to the side. I remember you talked about it was really, really good against Invoker. Were you just not expecting a lot of Invoker?
I was not expecting Invoker, and I have since playing against people playing Invoker a lot, I have figured out how to beat it without needing Vegeta's Final Flash in the main deck. You just have to like to beat both engines. For the Victor Strike, you have to have 3 negates in hand at all times. And then to beat the other one, the Burn engine, you have to establish at least 2 9-drops by turn 3. And it being more consistent now with Ice, you're able to do that.
Very cool. So going forward, any major or minor changes you would make to the deck?
Just clean up the side deck. The main deck's very solid. It was great.
Very cool. All right, any shout outs you want to get out there?
Yeah, I want to shout out to my local Hayden. He's actually the one that usually works on the deck for me, and usually makes the deck list, and then I get my input, and then we work on it from there. Shout out to the team, everybody that was at VA Beach. It was a great weekend, had a blast, and shout out to you, Joey, for having me on.
Awesome, man. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.